Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Once again, this is hemnetcher shepsankhamen, direct student of the Reverend Nazimere, KB Kadem. All blessings and respects due. Today's morning drive series is going to include a discussion on what it means to say, keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. My spiritual master and teacher, Reverend Nazimere, KB Kadem, always recommends or says that particular statement: head in the clouds, feet on the ground. Head in the clouds, feet on the ground. And so someone listening to that statement, could just take it as an axiom and just kind of rush on through the day. But in my time in dealing with my teacher, I began to realize that my teacher is very practical. And these teachings and this lesson or this saying is very practical in relationship to the dynamics of the universe. So, what is meant by head in the clouds, feet on the ground? To guide this discussion, kind of a working knowledge of the chakras and the tree of life is necessary. So I will briefly give a quick synopsis of the tree of life. I'll have some more. You have to check another video for a more complete explanation of the different spheres and the correlations that they make to the different spiritual systems in the world. But first, so this understanding comes from the work of Shekhem and the hemnetcher volumes 1 through 7. And so that is where this base of information comes from. And anybody who is familiar with those works also knows that Shekhem is the leader and spiritual guide of the Asara Set Society, an Afro-American or a diasporic African society devoted and dedicated to the upliftment of African people the world over, and striving to unite their consciousness back to oneness. So the first, the tree of life is, for those of you that don't know, it is everything. First of all, it is all of life. Now, that is the first statement that must be said. The tree of life is an understanding of how the universe manifested from that initial spark, so-called Big Bang, up into all the physical manifestation. And what it is it's a diagrammatic view of what goes on. It's just a diagram, and it is trying to relay conceptually reality. And so you'll always, whenever you try to do that, you'll always lose something, but you'll gain a lot more as well. So the very first sphere on the tree of life is sphere 0, the sphere of Amen. It's related to that existence. It's when you want to relate it to existence, it would be that existence that existed before existence existed. That's one of my favorite sayings because it sounds kind of cool to say it. But it is essentially the potential of the universe to be before the universe actually was. And so in science, they started having the discussion about the Big Bang, and then they asked what banged. And essentially what banged was the potential to be, the potential of existence. Now, existence in this state is absolute repose. Everything is cool, everything is chill. All things exist at once. There is no concept or separation of space and time. That portion of existence exists within you. Now, from that essence, let's call it now the hill, Atum rose out of a moon, and then comes, let's just, well, we won't go into Egyptian cosmology 100%, but we'll stick with Shekhar. From that existence, there is a consciousness within that arose, named by Asar Nebuchadnezzar. Asar is an all-pervading consciousness. Asar is the oneness. The Asar faculty within man is all of existence. Everything that exists. Once existence decided to spark and arise, that spark and arise, the ancient Egyptians, our Kemetians, called it Asar. And it was all and everything that existed. It was all that existed. But there was three qualities to this manifestation. Since it was all that existed, it was or is the all. It is all-knowing because it knows itself. It is omniscient. It has knowledge of everything because it is everything. It is what is. There is nothing else outside of it. Now, this is an abstract concept, but it is all of everything that exists. There is no differentiation. Nothing is different. Nothing is separate. Nothing is apart from it. The next thing that we have to take, our next quality of it is omnipotence. It is all powerful. It is like, it's everything. So everything that exists, it is. All powers, all ways of movement, all ways of knowing, all ways of getting things done, it is. It is every power that is in the universe. It is consciousness. It is the will to do. It is the ability to strike. It is everything. So it is all powerful, all knowing, and all present, omnipresent. This is the three qualities in the Judeo-Christian concept of God: omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. The three powers are three qualities of the divine being, the divine essence, are that first being that rose out of the noon, or the chaos. The Greeks call it chaos. It is unstructured, unformed, unordered matter, an unordered existence. And from that, it lays the foundation, which is Ma'at. It is the understanding of the laws that operate within the universe. Because the universe has above, so below. Although that state looks as if though there is no structure or form, it is structured and formed because it is. And so in order to keep existence existing, the divine creator, I'm trying to mix words, but the divine creator laid the foundation of the law, which is Ma'at. It is the laws of the universe that keep the universe operating. It is law upon law. It is the law of gravity as well as the law of morality. So it is the book to which karma gets its instructions. So when you have an act that you do, and that act produces karmic repercussions, are karma, not necessarily repercussions, because not all karma is bad. This is the book. This is the law to which karma defers to see what is owed. And so this law exists. It is there. We know it. It operates. We see its operations in day-to-day life. You know, we see the law of Ma'at operating with the revolutions of the planet around the sun, or the revolution of the revolution of the planet around the sun, the rotation of the earth upon its axis. And all of these things are matin. All of these things are within divine law. And so there's that. The fifth sphere is Herukti, or Heru Kahuti. This is divine justice. This is the protector. Herukti is the protector. Herukti is the guardian. Herukti is that energy that brings forth the justice that is needed in reference to how one experiences his or her karmic deeds, or his or her karmic due. So depending on how you've acted in reference to your understanding of Ma'at and the divine law, are the administration of divine law. That is the sphere of Herukti. Herukti is straight up analytical and cold, and just really looks at the situation and determines whether or not it is attuned to the higher laws or not. Then there is sphere 6, Heru, which is the will. This is where the human consciousness comes into play. Spheres 0 through 5 are all abstract, ethereal kind of entities, or operations. So they operate outside of and without regard so much as to human interaction and interference. We can manipulate and use and work with it, however, but it primarily operates by Ma'at, by the divine law, by divinity. Now, sphere 6, however, sphere 6 has two functions. It is the will within man. And it is all dependent upon the animalistic nature of man. And so in sphere 6, we have an understanding, or the will to manifest divine essence on earth, or we can use our will to guide our lives towards achieving the goals of society. And that's essentially what it is. We can use it to we can use our will to manifest a relationship. We can use our will to manifest a career. We can use our will to manifest a book. We can use our will to manifest a movie. Whatever it is we wish to manifest. We can manifest illness if we choose, if we are so inclined. Our health and wealth. This is the function of the will. The will, and it is free. It is free from influence of the higher laws. And this is primarily because of the experience. We'll dive into that a little bit later on the purpose and reason for manifesting has consciousness within the universe. But essentially, the will is free. After that is the faculty of Het Heru. Het Heru is that faculty within us that relates to joy, pleasure, even pain. Joy, pleasure, pain. It is very creative in its essence. It deals with the bringing together of independent abstract parts to make a harmonious whole. Whereas in sphere 3, it is all of the powers, all of the wholeness is automatically known. It is automatically attuned. There is always automatically a harmony there. With sphere 7, it is the use of the will in order to create the exterior harmony. So it's pleasure, pain, it is creativity, it is joy, and things of this nature. Now sphere 8 deals with the abstract intellectual kind of part of man. It is man's ability to look at the world and gain an understanding from it. Now sphere 8 is extremely limited because what it does is it looks at the world and it tries to make sense of the abstract concrete, not the abstract, but the concrete physical reality of the world. And then it can also get locked up into abstract thoughts. But it does not have the ability to perceive reality, because reality is actually beyond so-called perception and is within the realm of experience. And so it is sphere 8. Now 8 is the battleground. You know, in many traditions, they correlate it with an adversary. Let's say an adversary, someone who comes along to challenge the person to live according to truth. Now, the individual will know truth, but sphere 8 will challenge that person's devotion to truth. based upon societal preconceived notions of programming and conditioning. And it's not always bad. I mean, it is just society's way of perpetuating itself. And all societies have that. And so there is always going to be a degree of piercing the veil. Sphere 8 relates to all, whenever you are researching mystical traditions and they talk about piercing the veil, they're always talking about piercing the functionality of the sphere, of the 8th sphere. Now, after the 8th sphere, you have the 9th sphere, which is Aset. Aset is related to devotion. It is also related to, like Ma'at, like Heru, like Sekher, the divine feminine principle within the universe. But let's talk about the devotion because that's going to be related to our larger conversation. It is, what are you devoted to? Are you devoted to the dictates of society, what society has programmed and conditioned you to think you should direct your will towards? Are you devoted to having a career? Are you devoted to having a good job? Are you devoted to eating out? Are you devoted to dating or marrying an ideal person? These are the ideas that we become devoted to. And what we become devoted to, we direct our will towards. Or are you going to be devoted to an ideal? And that's the other thing. Now I say ideal versus are you devoted to the divine, because the ideal is also another way in which you can direct your energies. Now, when we talk about the chakras, we also understand that there's another correlation, and we'll talk about the 4th chakra, devotion to personal self and one's initial national ethnic group, which is a lower manifestation of the love faculty or the love expression of the 4th chakra. Or are you devoted to the maintaining the balance and the spiritual cultivation of the whole, which is a higher function of the 4th chakra, and which helps open up the powers that reside inside the 5th. That's all intellectual and some experiential. But Sphere 9 on the Tree of Life is definitely related to that. Sphere 10 is the physical world, the physical body, and all the elements that actually make up physicality. And so here you get actual concrete representations. So if you, for a more thorough and complete explanation of the spheres, my recommendation is the hemnetcher, Volume 1 actually. Volume 1 specifically pages, I think this explanation begins on like page 60 or something like that. First 3 chapters is the background study, and chapter 4 goes into cosmology. Really, really good. And then you can begin to get this type of understanding and how it relates to it. Now, when it relates to man operates, there are 3 types of men in the world. Now, Buddhism calls them sages, superior men, and inferior men. In the Aset society, they are the Ab, the Ba, and the Sahu. Now, basically, this is a reference to the lower self, the higher self, the lower self, the higher self, and being a human, an actual human. So, someone that is operating out of the lower self is basically going off of unquestionably the conditionings and programs that society has ran through them. So their personality is informed by the environment to which they grew up in. And that's essentially what they are. This is not particular to any one group of people. This is Africans to Eskimos. This is just the way it goes. And so they see society, they see the world in concrete forms. And their understanding of the world is based upon society's understanding of the world. They pull their concepts, they pull their understanding on how to construct a way of life based upon what society gives them. And so typically in most societies, this is the fulfillment of basic urges, which is like the basic 3 urges of the lower 3 chakras: food, clothing, and shelter, intercommunication between self and others, and the manifestation of the will, and the lower part of the 4th chakra, identity with a larger group, which is typically the ethnicity or the nationality of the person involved. And these are the functions of the person. Now, this can be, some person that's manifesting some type of thug type of consciousness, whereas, their whole reality is based upon the block in which they spent the majority of their youth. Or it could be, somebody who has devoted and dedicated their life to the upliftment of their race. Still, nonetheless, if that devotion and dedication is to the upliftment of the race and the race alone, as beautiful as an expression as that is, it is attuned only to the 4th chakra. And is only the lower part of the 4th chakra, because we are the divine essence manifested in flesh with consciousness to enact our will upon the planet. And so if we identify only with that, then we are only able to manifest so much. Now, that doesn't mean that we all sing Kumbaya and we all join hands together, because this is related to head in the clouds, feet on the ground. Now, a person with their head in the clouds, essentially a person who is engaged in spiritual disciplines which open his or her consciousness up to the operation of these laws in their life, and has the ability to use and work with them, is still going to have to deal with the day-to-day challenges of ignorant people that go out here and build walls to keep other people out and to make life more hectic for other brothers and sisters that are on the planet, so that they can experience a more peaceful or a more luxurious materialistic existence. And that's bull, because essentially they're sacrificing the peace and the well-being of another divinity or another divine essence spark on the planet, and choosing to manifest a negative experience for that being, so that they can just eat a steak at home with some hot sauce and maybe some tartar sauce or whatever, these brothers and sisters do, so that they can buy rocks that they put a value on, that they dug out of the ground, out of the Mother Earth, out of Geb, Geb is father, but we'll get into that later. But they dug the diamond out the ground and said it was worth this, and a third. All of society buys into this nonsense, and they create all sorts of galas and balls and program different people to believe this is what you should be striving for, and this has value. And it's all a game. It's all a game. But in order to walk with your head in the clouds, feet on the ground, you have to know that you have to deal with the people where they're at, create social structures which uplift the particular group which you decided to manifest through, because you decided to manifest as an African on the planet, as a European on the planet. That's beautiful. When you work for your people, when you work for that group, or not your people, but when you work for that group, the work should be based on and geared towards bringing the people that you work with in greater balance and attunement to the universal essence, to the Asar, to the Amen portion of their spirits. But they also protect themselves from, because that's Herukti protecting Ma'at. They also protect themselves from ignorant people who have no consciousness or concept of the holistic nature of the planet or of existence, and go out here to live some sort of illusion which causes all this chaos socially, economically, politically, and environmentally on the planet, in which we are in a state now where the planet might transform into a condition which will transition all human life off of it, regardless of race, color, nationality, gender, all of that. Because we are stuck in our lower chakras, because we are stuck in the lower spheres of consciousness, we are allowing people to kill the planet. It's crazy. Our brothers and sisters, our priests and priestesses have not been able to influence enough people to know the holistic nature of the planet. And because we haven't been able to do that, we have allowed this is a time where young souls who are going through the lower levels of the sphere on the tree of life, of the spheres on the tree of life, and are manifesting lower chakra energies, are controlling the way things are done on the planet, and we are allowing them to kill the planet. But they won't kill the planet per se. We are allowing them to transform the planet's environment that is sustainable to human life, all human life, which is a higher level of the fourth sphere, or the fourth chakra. All of human life, all of life on the planet, into something that's unsustainable, and where the planet Earth is just going to be some sort of rock floating in the world, in the universe right here, and there's not going to be human life because we allow for the last 200 years dummies to control powerful resources that's killing the planet. It is really crazy. It is really, really. So clearly you now just saw me manifest something in which I'm pretty passionate about. But I began to understand this a little while ago. It's really sad. The truth of the matter is we have to merge our consciousness with the divine essence, and we have to walk with our head in the clouds, feet on the ground. We have to walk in the way of the shemsankhamen, whereas we are constantly manifesting truth in our life and truth, so that we can bring balance to imbalance. At this moment, this is just going to be a rant if I just keep going on. Head in the clouds, spheres 1, 2, spheres 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feet on the ground. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gear your life towards the divine essence in all times. And the divine essence will influence your life. Om.